Video you live on YouTube? Oh yeah, YouTube's live. That's the only thing that's not up.
Good Erev Shabbos, everybody. Rashi brings down, I think the Gemara said, I think three things he heard. Obviously, I could say that the two things. What were the three? The three is he had Kriyas Yamsuf, Chomas Amalek, and Matan Torah. That depends if he came before Matan Torah, he came after Matan Torah. So on Matan Torah you have a machlekes. So if he heard it before or after. But Kriyas Yamsuf and Chomas Amalek, that definitely was according to everybody. So I think the way Rashi maybe brings 2 out of the 3. Because that's a kul alma. So Rashiva asked, says, Mele, on the union of Kriyas Yamsuf, that's a big mess. Like it's I don't even, we can't even imagine it. Now, I don't know if we spoke about this once before in the last week or not. I don't think so. But the things that happen in the world, the Bensham put into Teva. Now, it's the way you want, our belief, we'll talk about it in Parshas Kisisa more, because it's Nageti, is that the Rebbeinu Shalom runs the world through Derech HaTeva, and yet he controls every facet of the world. There is nothing that he does not control. Yipolim Hashem Dava, there's nothing that the Bensham can't do. And yet, it's all done through Derech HaTeva. There is no, it doesn't make a Yesh Me'ayin anymore. The Yesh Me'ayins were all before. All the Derech HaTeva was created in the 6 days. And therefore, the things that were created in Hashmoshes also had to be before Shabbos, because it needed that for the Yisro. So we have, so you have in Kriyas Yamsuf, you guys learn chemistry, most of you guys anyway. To understand the Shonim, to understand what he calls, it's important. Rashi brings down that by Mora it was a nes b'toich nes. What was a nes b'toich nes? He took a bit of wood, threw it into bitter water, and he got sweet water. If you know chemistry, we all know that that's not true. The Bensham makes sour, and sour makes sweet. So it has nothing to do with the nest. It's not a nest, that's Derech HaTeva. We used to have, when I was in Tells, there was 2 Choshevi guys on Shir Beis, and they, I guess they tried to impress kids with, with Teva, with Nes, all that kind of stuff. So what do? They would take a base and an acid and show you the keiches of a base, that's lye, burns, the good cleaning materials. There's lye in it. It'll burn you off the thing, all the schmutz off 1, 2, 3, right? You have, what do you call it? Not chloric acid, there's, give me a stalkiology, but also with a C.
Chlorine.
Citric acid?
Chlorine.
I didn't hear you.
Citric acid?
No, citric acid is orange juice. Okay, but the same thing. I just want the main one, and it's one of them. We didn't tell us they didn't have the right materials. And we were taking it for chemistry in tells. So instead of glass piping, they had only rubber piping. So we made hydrochloric acid. So we're making hydrochloric acid. So when we made it, the tube burnt up, the thing there. So now what do? You got a fire, right? Okay, so we had to grab everything we had without touching anything, and we went out and tells that where I was in 870, well, no, that wasn't the address, on 9th Street. So there, on East 9th, so they had like a courtyard. So we ran out from the room into the courtyard and spilled it out on the floor. That was the cleanest sidewalk you ever saw. You know what I'm saying, Dalton? That's what's in your stomach. Okay, hydrochloric acid is what's eating up your food. That means the skin inside of your stomach is containing this type of acid that's going to kill you if you put it on your fingers. Right? Okay. So if I took that and I took it with a lye, both could kill me, and I can drink it. Or I can even do better. I can take the lye and put orange juice, which has citric acid, and also get rid of it. The thing over there. So they used to do this kunz every time. It was Negea to Rosh Yivas and I think I mentioned, or maybe this I did mention, between the Akiva and the Rosh Yeshiva. No, I didn't. I don't know, Slik Bazak. Not the Akiva, but the Chazanish. There's another thing that they used to do when it came to chemistry class. They used to give you a glass of water and put it on the piece of cardboard. And fill it up to the top, then put a piece of cardboard, and then hold it as steady as you can and remove the cardboard. Does the water spill out right away or not? It does not. Now you tell me, what are you talking about? I'm just carrying the glass like this and it's spilling already. So you tell me if I have it upside down, it's not going to spill, right? It's not going to spill. What's going to be spilled is the displacement of the water with air, and that will make it spill. So the guys, la halacha now, opening a can, not the cans, you don't do it anymore, that's a Torah. What don't you do? When you want to open, you buy a can of soda, right? What do you rip off? You rip off a piece of something, right? Which is a tab, which makes one hole, funny looking hole, round, and then this. And I don't need two holes. Years ago, when you used to buy orange juice off the shelf, now it didn't have to be frozen or in the container. You bought it off the shelf. You may be still able to get it, I don't know. The thing is, we're told, make two holes, one hole on this side, the bigger one a smaller one, and the bigger one is you pour from, and the smaller one, it makes a displacement of air. But they never told that to the kid, why are you making two holes? He knew if you want to get soda from a can, you need two holes. You want to get beer from a can, you need two holes. That was the Matthias. They screwed up mathematics also that way. When they tried to explain math with logic, how do you make a one over here, right? And you're borrowing from the other side 10, and you're giving 1. It's a tumulty cup. Just tell me, just put a 1 there, everybody knew how to add. It was never a question. Okay, so it's almost out here. When you knew two holes, everybody knew what it meant. Chazon Ish holds a tosset to open cans. So he says, if you open a small and a big, it's only l'Rabbanan, because one is lahachnis and one is lahaitzi. One is lahachnis avil and one is lahaitzi, the juice. And if you make two big holes, so that each one is lahachnis or lahaitzi, so you're the raisa. So I asked him to Rosh Yeshiva one time, Yeshiva didn't want to, but it takes a chochmeh to know that it takes air to do it. You need air to come in. That's not natural knowledge. That's not called that a person is consciously thinking to put in air. That's the chochem knows that, but the regular person doesn't know why you're making the second hole. And therefore, you're not able to rise. I'll call it from the Yeshiva. Okay. Don't do it anyway. It's a Leisen Rabban.
Chazon Ish held that it's the two together is the Raisa?
Two together is the Raisa. Yeah. The Shilas will be able for two big holes, the Raisa, not, or if I made it without being distinguishing which one is which. That's the logic we use, I think. It's a long time ago. So people don't really know what's taking place. I asked this to different people. Everyone got the same instruction from their mother. You don't put this hot soup into the refrigerator. You let it cool off first. Why? No one, the mothers don't tell you that part. They just tell you let it cool off first. So I'll tell you from what I've discovered over the things years. You put in very hot soup into the refrigerator, it cools off everything else in the refrigerator. So now your refrigerator has to work twice as hard. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing is, it freezes faster. If you put very hot to very cold, you'll get it more ice than you would cold to hot. Okay? Now, I'm not 100% sure on that. I know that it happens, but I don't know how's the speed of that or whatever it is there. Kriyas Yamsuf also had to be in Teve. How does Kriyas Yamsuf become in Teve? Okay? So first of all, who tells you that it's in Teve? First question. Good. You learned the Rambam someplace, in Vriyas Oilam, and in others, or whatever you learned in the thing, or whatever you learn, and you're going to uptight your whole world because of that. You really know what's happening in the world. What's Leislam Rakov? Okay. So I learned the Gemara and Chum. I'm not learning this type of stuff. But Pinchas ben Yoel was going to be paid the Shvuyim. And he comes to this river, and he tells the river split. And the river says, you're saying Kainach, you're doing the Rebbeinu Shalom's will, you want to go do mitzvahs? I'm doing the Rebbeinu Shalom's will, he told me to flow. Why should I move for you? I was there first, so I got a more standard mitzvah. My mitzvah is right now. Thing there. She said, if not, I'll dry you up. So the river splits. Got threatened. So obviously I'll dry you up. Means I have the care to dry you up. I don't need a nest. I got the care and I'll dry you up. He splits once. Then there was a yid behind him. He splits a second time. Then there was an Arab with a donkey. So they split for him too. Hey, what kind of purpose is that nest for? Maybe the yid maybe had a mitzvah. Whatever he was doing there. But why for the guy? Why are you doing it? Elavos is teva. Anyone that knows how to do it, how it works, you know that the lye and acid go together, you can drink it. Another guy, I'll tell you, you're crazy if you drink it, but the guy who knows how it works, he has no problem. So here he knows how to split it, the waters, he can split the waters. You see, it's teva. What makes the teva? Now again, if it's a Goyen's answer, it ain't going to help me for this Gemara. The Goyen says what's teva means it was ice. When he made Kriyas Yamsuf, he turned it into ice. So now it's dry, right? Now it's, how do you have a Chayim Mezem, that you watch, this week's summer, Yoted, they have a they have a picture, I think it's in the Yoted, I think there, of, what do you call it, waterfalls freezing. How's the waterfall freeze? I guess it should be empty over here and empty in the middle, right? No. You see, actually, the water in the waterfall is frozen. Okay. So obviously, when the freezing comes in, it doesn't fall fast enough that whatever it is, and it falls in, it's going to attach itself to the other one, and you got a funky-looking frozen waterfall. Okay, good. It looks beautiful, that's for sure. Okay, so look at that. Okay. How? So that's his feather. Now, when I first heard the Goyen, I wasn't too impressed. Why wasn't I too impressed? I know it's very slippery. I don't want to walk on ice, right? I don't think it's going to be a very good trip, right? They tell everybody got, what do you call it, snowshoes all of a sudden. Okay, maybe. I can't answer you. According to Officer of Norsen, it definitely is what happened. There was many times he said, you want to cross now? Mud this, make it solid, make it this, no, it has to be marble. Then he made he made the tunnels out of them. And where do all these things come from? I have no idea. So you can learn. And again, it still wouldn't answer me all these types of nisim. I don't know how to mention all the different nisim. That's not negated me. But let's say, so how did Kriyas Yamsuf take place then? 20 tornadoes go by a place and blow all the water out. And by the time it comes back, you would already have them all crossed over the thing there. Could be. Because Kriyas Yamsuf, we saw last week, took a whole night. Then wasn't just, he put his hand on the wall split. That's not what happened. It took overnight. He had a ruach kosher kol hayoy, kol halayla, whatever, the mizrach, azor. So it's part of Teva. Okay, so I can't answer that, but there's still something that's very wondrous about it. It's not a simple thing. And if you don't expect it, so then it's a nest, whatever it is there. Obviously, nest means only, it happens when I need it. It's everything is circumstances. When I need this circumstance, that's when it happened. It's a nest, right? Just I was going to cross the water, and all of a sudden the boat shows up. Nest. Maybe it's time for the boat to show up. That's not negated to me. To me, it's a nest. That's what types of nest is Teva. Okay, so that, whatever it is there, but it's still they were impressed that it happens when I need it. So what scared them about Melchamas Amalek? Says Amalek was different than everybody else. It wasn't pshat, they blamed it on different gods, different things. Amalek came and said, no big deal. All Teva. It's all Teva. There's no nest. There's no such thing as Hashgacha Pratis. There's no such thing as God running the world. There's no such thing there. And the whole world is impressed. And they came b'dafka to break this impression. And stuff like that. In other words, the thing there. So then I got to watch my kids. Then it's very important to come to him with Kabul Torah. I got to come to hear what the Torah got to say. That's going to protect my kids. Because the kids, putting them in a world that can have such stupid ideas, then obviously it's a dangerous place. I don't know what the right ideas are. And with the more we live by concepts to understand that the people don't understand what they're talking about, all the social types of people, whether they're leftists, whether they're communists, it doesn't make a difference what their shittas are. But once God's not in it, they come up with such crazy ideas, such crazy things. And someone who's been Torah already could say, shluss, you know anything then. A guy who doesn't know anything, you can hear, hey, that makes sense. And think over there, maybe that's a good theory. And then you've got it's a dangerous thing. That's our problem. You know? We have to combat these ideas, and that's why the Torah was necessary. Okay. And he comes and he says he becomes with his wife, with Moshe's wife, and Moshe's two kids. Shem Echad Eliezer, what that was Geger Yisi V'Eretz L'Chiyom, V'Gerer V'Shem Echad Eliezer, Keyovi B'Ezri V'Atzilin Mecher Parei. So the Shiva asks also, which bracha should he have made first? Should have named Eliezer first. Eliezer is the younger son. Gershon is the one that we didn't have the name before. Eliezer is the one that Seforim models in Mitzrayim. So Shaila is the and here they slowly is the seder of the names. So he says he should have named Eliezer before Gershon. So he said the truth is it's not so. We all agree Hatzolos Nefashos is more important than anything in the world. No question about it. We Bechal Shabbos on it. We don't do Avodah Zorah on it, but we Bechal Shabbos on it. Most important thing. Will I save my kid to be a goy? Think about it. Now, the Ziknei Alatesis, Parshas Noach, bring down that it's an Issa, not allowed to kill your kid, to stop him from being a goy. All the Maisim of the Rishonim, Masada, anybody else you want to go to, they kill their wives and kids not to become goy. So that's Machlekes Rishonim. No. This sefer was by the Christians all the time. Their book is, you make a goy, I baptize you, you're a goy, you're saved. You don't have to know more about you anymore. I remember when Johnny became Pope. You guys remember such a thing or not? Okay. All of a sudden, all the sin of the Goyim is disappearing, right? It's going liberalism. It took out perfidious Jews from their tefillas. You felt there was no mitzvah when I was a kid. I get bad up every day. I had friends that for Goyim. They told me that's what the Galach teaches you in the church. Where you go out, these are Jews are God killers, there's a mitzvah, to kill them. And everything else. But you're not allowed the American government to kill you for that, so beat them up. And so you can't just leave them alone. That's what they taught you in the church all the time. After that, they couldn't teach that anymore. So I told the Rosh Yeshiva, this guy seems like a nice guy. So the Shiva says to me, he's a Rosh Marusha. Okay, I can't tell you for sure what my thoughts were. I don't know how old I was, because I don't remember when it was the year we came Pope. But even if I was a Gadol already, I still thought, you come from Russia, come from a place like that. So, to them, every guy is a Rosh Marusha. We're more liberal here. We're American. What do you think there? It just reminded me of something very funny. But the later point, I'm riding with the Rosh Yeshiva on the BQE. Okay, now the VQE has a lot of potholes, right? You get and boom, boom, boom. And the Rosh Yeshiva tells me, in Russland hat man allemal gesagt, the mile of America has gute Wege. They're good roads. Okay. So I guess it depends relatively where you're coming from. The VQE can be a good road. Okay. I didn't do special research on him, but obviously he was in the news. A lot of stories came up about him that time. His name was really Roncalli. He was the papal nuncio to Romania, the ambassador, what it means. And he saved 5,000 Jews by giving them out baptismal papers. That he defended them, that Catholics, you have no right to kill them. Okay, so they saved 5,000 Jews, but he made them all go into baptism. So they asked him, why is he? He said, I'm not a liar. And that's the only answer he answered. About Maisa, learning in the time of the Inquisition and stuff, the whole thing is to do the baptism. That's what does the saving. And then that was the guy who I got to get you into the mikveh. After that, I don't care what happens to you, and stuff like that. So his purpose was to make Catholics. His purpose wasn't to save Jews. So there's over Russia and Marusha. The thing there was just he did it a different way, a nice way. But it was a kill to save Jews. Okay.
He became Pope in 58.
I'm sorry?
He became Pope in 58.
In 68.
58.
58. So that means I was just married at 21. Okay, so this thing there. So I'm saying I could be a god already at that time. But that was the thing is, you have to know the inner motives of these people. Another thing which is Negeya. Again, I'm going back, I don't know how many years. I'm learning the Taz in Yehudea. V'adin l'malchusa and what do you call it? That you're not allowed the chukes hakum and stuff. What makes chukes hakum and the malchusa? What makes the difference between them and all these type of things. So he talks about Yamuka, Taz. He says the Taz says that Yamuka somehow he doesn't come out completely. It seems it's a Yisro is b'chukasei moiselechu. Therefore, I have to wear yarmulke, right? But let's look at the Jews. Sfardim don't wear yarmulkes. Okay, they weren't brought up with Christians, so no kasha. They live with Mohammedans, so they don't have such a halacha. So there's no chukasei by them. So they don't have to wear yarmulkes. The yeshiva like to live in their yarmulkes now for the other things. Yakis also used to uncover their head. Where did they get their heads from? So the Siddur seem to hold that you're not able to chukasei moiselechu. Don't ask me why. Even the Taz's might be not really able to chukasei. I don't know what. But he explained to me the thing of chukasei moiselechu. A halacha that you don't know why they made it. That's what chukasei moiselechu. Okay? What if I know why they made it? For instance, stopping for red light. A doctor wears a white coat. Why? Because you should know who a doctor is. You should know that you have to stop here so you won't crash into the other guy. Those are chukasei moiselechus. Those are the dinah malchus dinah. They are mechuyev to listen to it. of uncovering your head. That's what he called the Chumash Shiur. He said, what's this for? And if you think about it, you see it's claw. The Pope wears yarmulke all the time. Cardinals wear yarmulkes, come out all the time. So at least as long as they're wearing the red outfits for sure. And the same thing goes with bishops, right? Everyone wears a yarmulke. Why? Because when you're dealing with God, that the thing there's a yoch on you. You have the mice with Rav Nachman, he used to steal when he was a little kid, so his mother put him on a yarmulke. So Rashi learns he put him on 2 yarmulkes, because the one didn't help him, stick him on another one. And that one thing, that whatever it is, but not everyone learns like that. But the mice, that's the thing that somehow puts Yos Hashem in mind. Why would it be more logical to take off your hat than to put on a hat for covet? Now, I was thrown out of the, mentioned it last time, I was thrown out of the capital in 1950 for wearing the yarmulke. His father was almost thrown out in 61, 68, when he said he was?
81.
68?
81. He said it was 81.
What year?
81.
81. In 81, from the capital for wearing a hat, because the yarmulke flew off. He only had a hat. But Javits came down and saved him. And he said, these are my guests. And once they're his guests, they were there. I wasn't involved in no politics, no nothing to do with his father. I was a 13-year-old kid, so I didn't know too much. So they threw me out. You don't come. And now the law was that any public building, you're not allowed to wear yarmulke. In a library, you're supposed to be kicked out. Can't wear yarmulke in the library. So the Shiva explained it to me. He says by then they used, there's a intermediary between God and the people, the Galach. Right? The Galach is the only one that prays. Everyone else just stands there, but the rest of the Galach is the one that does the tefillos. So he says, so the Galach covers his hair. The people, they're animals. They don't cover their hair. So and they learned from the church, we want you to take off your hat, that you recognize you're an animal. Now you can come into church, you're a garnet. Then you can think this, so they think it's a covet. Why am I taking off my hat going into church? So I'm left on the covet to complain. They think it's a covet, so they're a bunch of idiots. What's given on? Well, by us, we know that the Ikar is the covet. So it's a point. Well, if we don't know the reason, we touch up our own reason because we think it's covet. We don't think it's because they want to belittle us and make us into animals. That's the purpose. So that's why even the halacha, I don't know why the halacha was made, I'm not allowed to listen to, because you don't know if there's any Avodah Zarah behind the logic behind the thing there. Okay. Yeah. So he says you don't make a bracha that I'm alive if I can't live like a Jew. When the guy came, geraten werd geworden von Hitler, so I'm a former Yid, it's a wonderful thing. If I'm not, what are you bragging about? You're free, you're free, your kids are free, your grandchildren are free. What are you bragging about? God saved me. Now, it's what are you giving the bracha for? You just poisoned more people. That's the point. So it has to be first, the Ikar is that I'm an Ered, I'm a Ger Be'eretz Rachiyah. I'm not coming one of you. Now I can thank God for saving me because I keep this machshava on. If I figured I'm becoming an American, you just lost it. So it's a very important lesson. Then it says, now this is, therein, I don't, and from the Gemara is not mashma that it's a chelik of gerus. In other words, a guy wants to come to you and he says, I want to be a Jew. So what do you tell him? What are you not? What do you want to be a Jew for? I do it one time, I do it 2 times. He still keeps coming back. Right? I'm telling you right now, that's not the way it works. They will not be Mekabel a ger, no matter how many times he says, I want to be a Jew. Maybe some old Rav will do it, but not the RCA, not anyone that's in the business. And they'll tell you, you have to move out of the Goyish neighborhood, you have to cut off all ties with your parents, you have to do this and this and this and this and this. I don't know, I'm not getting involved in the halacha here. This is what I'm not getting involved. I've done oisik and these binyanim and not. But they will not be megaya someone. I happened to be in Eretz Yisrael, and I was addressed a seminar. These are called seminars. Guys who are not Yidden yet, but they're teaching in the halachas and stuff like that before they do. It's about a year of school they go to. So most of them happen to be in Eretz Yisrael are Asians. In other words, there'll be Chinese, Japanese, what do you call it, the brown ones from Bombay, those places, not only from India, from, it's called Myrnia or something like that now. Well, right after China, what's that before India?
Thailand.
One more. Burmese, but it's not Burma anymore. It's called a different country. Anyway, you go now to Yisrael, those are all the people you'll see by the Mos Machpelah, the thing there, all the places you go to, the Chinese, the Japanese, you don't see Jews, or at least not Israelis. Okay, then sitzen dort. And they're Megaya. So they came to me, a husband and wife, and crying. They don't let us keep Shabbos. They don't let us keep Shabbos. I can't tell you what the godless wife felt me in that spoke into my head at the time. But I said to him, I took Veschanon's Shabbos. The Shik Veschanon is the Avdei Hashem. The Neved Hashem. In Yisro, we're going to have Zeicher L'Maisa Bereshis. That's the reason we keep Shabbos. That's why V'achehu, we bless it. We have it's Kedusha. Eschanan, it's rest. Shomer Shem HaShabbos L'Katri. Right? You can't, it doesn't show anything, and you're not doing anything to make it holy. You're just not doing anything. Why? Because you're never Hashem. Where did that come? When the Bensham took us out of Mitzrayim and made us free people, he took away the avdus of Mitzrayim from us, he put the avdus for Hashem on us. Now you become his avodim. That's why he pays for Shabbos. Because a boss pays for his eved. The eved doesn't go and eat himself. Boss has to pay for it. And therefore, there's a thing of a thing there. So I said, a voluntary eved is not an eved. Now I say, yeah, I want to serve you, God, but I can always quit if that's your hava. It means you owe me. That's why I work for you, not because I was volunteering for it and stuff like that. I said, so Yirtzeh Hashem, you can't be a voluntary eved. So Yirtzeh Hashem, when you become a ger, you become an emissary eved Hashem, then Fakech, the Shabbos, okay, that was my excuse to them. Was it true or not that I can't answer you? I'm saying that it's a fact that people who keep an association with their parents is a big problem. I know of 2 such cases. One here in Staten Island, many, many years ago, and one in L.A. that was married after many years, not after 1 year or 2 years, and the wife is the former. Now the Gilus was the former, but there came with a time when there were no shalom bayis, they both went back to their families. So the thing over there. So I see there's a svara to it. Does that mean you keep from me all the years I want to be in Eved Hashem, and I happen to be living near my parents? We all know that there's different, even by former such things. Or we call it Bali Tshuva. You have a reasonable parent, a liberal parent. Okay, I'll buy you your own kalim, I'll buy you your own food, I'll buy you your own thing. I'm nice about it. No one says, no, you won't eat that. I'm taking you out of school. I'm going to put you depends on different types of people. Right? Sometimes you have to like this, sometimes you have to like this. But it's not always an anti, thing. About choishes for dafne choishes, and that's for sure. I mean, I'm not saying if you have a relationship, you have to be able to convince the people. Okay. Then it says, so I say I don't know how much they really have that feeling of, that they don't want to say, Vayichad Yisro, that you don't want to tell them about the things that happened with Mitzrayim. Now, it could be because Yisro was a big shot in Mitzrayim. He was one of the advisors of Parshas. So it could be, these are your buddies, and we drowned all your buddies and stuff like that. Then the guy may feel scared or will not feel comfortable. But what about Stam Ger from nowhere? Well, I don't know if you have to stop worrying about it. I mean, those are like, you talk about the killing out the Japs. In the Second World War, we called them Japs, and we called them, what do we call the Koreans, I guess. We also made fun of the Koreans. Now, you don't make fun of the Koreans. I buy my car from Korea. What's less than our car? Fucking thing over there. Once upon a time, who were the gooks or whatever Russian, we're at war, we call them this name. Not at war, you call them this name. So I can't answer you how true it is. The Maisa, but the Gemara Chazal bring it down. So let's say a Roman, I would understand it. It comes from a big nation, comes down to Numa Shvela, and it comes like that, so every time there's bad things about him or good things about him, they have an emotion still in there. They're not too far from them. But the next pasuk bothers me. Ati yodati ki godlo Hashem mikol Elokim mikol Elohim ki ba'adav asher zodu alehim. He did Midah Keneged Midah, so I saw God as the God of all the gods. Right? Don't make any sense. First of all, Yisro was a girl when Moshe Rabbeinu came down to Mitzrayim. But when he ran away from so maybe could be even 40 years that before thing there. I don't know when after Kush, how the times were, but I assume he became out of Kush pretty early. And then he became, after he was kicked out of Kush, he went to Yisro. So it could have been 40 years before. And they already hated his daughters there, the things there. So I'm saying, so he was a girl for a long time. So what do you mean, after Yudati? Now I know. How do you know now? I said, it doesn't mean that. It says, a person becomes a yid. Why does he become a yid? I really don't know. I've watched discussions about it, and the things, the interviews and stuff like that. They're looking for something more. What could be chumrah. They're not looking for emes. They don't know what emes is. So why would you know looking for emes? How do you know you're not going to get emes? So I remember Amon Bloy's wife, if you remember. So Amon Bloy's wife was a partisan, Giuris. So they interviewed her, I don't know how many years ago already, it was a nice young boy. And she said, I was looking to do tshuva on being a murderess. That's what she was, a murderess. You're a partisan. You shoot anybody that wears the alien uniform, anybody that looks like the thing, they just shoot them, right? To find the hardest thing I can find in the world to do, to make me do tshuva. Be sorry on it. And so the hardest thing in the world is to be an Orthodox Jew. So the male, she married Amon boy, she came to a character. Okay, that was the hardest thing. See? There's a lot of people like that. That they're looking for kapore. For kapore, lafen haben onshim, lafen haben whatever it is. So where can I find onshim? Then there are people that become gerim because of ideas. Oh, this anuma psheira. I hear they think it's stuck, they think it's this, it's that, bettering the world, stuff like that. Okay, I'm interested in that. I'll join them. And then there's a guy who can understand what the purpose creation would be. In other words, how do you imagine creation? Is creation the way I used to play with my marbles and my soldiers? Like what it is there, I'm a little god controlling all these different worlds that's underneath the sun, this country, and I'm going to have the marbles kill them by flipping a marble at each one, so they knocks down a couple of them, they're dead, and the other ones are there. Well, is that what does it? So God just playing games with us? He has a lot of little things, he's a little kid. Well, it's pshat, the God there's a tachlis, he's a God, he wants to make something, he wants us to understand what the world's a purpose in it, what's going to be good, what could be good, so it's everything he makes it to ever live, perfect himself, whatever it is, whatever we believe in. So he became, I guess, saying that the world has no purpose. I'll give you like, one of the things is not believing in the Greeks. One of the Greeks seeks 100 gods, 1,000 gods. I don't know how many they have there, right? But they have a god for the Ganovim also. They have a god for the Zionist also. Every person, whatever you want to do, there's a god for you. In other words, even when you're a murderer, you're Mars. Mars would be the Roman. So it would be...
Ares.
Who?
Ares.
Ares, right. And Aphrodite would be, what do you call it? Aphrodite is the Greek, right? Aphrodite. It's for this Luz, and Loki is for the being a goddess. And whatever it is, you want to have something, you always have someone defending you. So in Emerson, you never learn what's right or wrong, because it depends what you want to do. You're picking out your God, whichever one you want to believe in. It's not that he's the only God. There's only one way. There's many ways. Some saying there's these South American gerim in Scranton, but they started off in Williamsburg. The first one was a Colombian, and he was a guy, he's 15 years old, and he tells his mother that he was not happy with the Catholic religion. So his mother was in America before, so she told him, if you want to have some relationship with God, go to the Jews. Go to the Orthodox Jews. They have. So he flew to America when he was 15 years old. He gets off a plane, and he goes into a taxi cab and he said, take me to the Jews. Okay, the guy looked like I'm a nut. What can I take you to the Jews in New York City? Well, which Jews do you want to go to? Anyway, but he figured he took him to Williamsburg. The guy stopped into him, and he saw they dressed differently. He liked the white beards and the stuff like that, and the snowy day. He described the whole thing, how he did it. And he came, and then he spoke to the kids from the yeshiva across the street. He worked in a grocery store. and they would talk, and they would always talk to him and stuff like that. But he found something, and they made it, and they thought there's no working for them in Winsburg, so they all moved to Scranton. They looked at Scranton has now a good Ketana, that's a Gedola, and they have a full shul, and they have what do you call it, because they're removed there, but there's a lot of Gerim there. South Americans, though, but they all dress Hasidish. Anything over there, and that's the other thing. They're looking for something hard. Yisro, I don't believe, was looking for something that appeals to him, outfits, this, that. I don't think that did the job. He saw one God, different ideas, different things. But now he says, now I know God is different. That God is greater than all the other gods. So I say this is pshat. All other gods, Avodah Zarah, are all man-made. They're all a person thought up the ideas. What's a good thing? What's a bad thing? What's the thing? It's not that God didn't come down and tell him there's no such God, so therefore he can't do it. He's not impressed. He says, Dati, now I know. I was trying to figure out all my life, what does it mean, justice? I ask this for the kids when I come sometimes to yeshivas. Not been a while already, but I say to the kids, what's justice? Okay, what's justice? Justice is blind. Okay, justice is blind. But what's justice? So it's the law. Who makes the law? Oh, whoever's in office. Right? So that makes it right or wrong. So he says, the Beniman said, there's only one person can make right or wrong. The Beniman can tell you laws you should do or not do. That's ki moila. That doesn't make you a better person or worse person. But a better person or worse person is, you should know, if you do it, that means you think it's okay to do, right? I pick on kids, I'm a bully, right? So why do you mind if somebody's a bully against you? Why should you be the only bully? All of us, I want to be on top, but I have no logical reason why I want to be the bully, right? So therefore, the only thing that you can say to a person is don't do what you don't want done to you. Right? Which is Hillel's thing, which is what the whole world runs on. On that yisod, that they say, not like the guy who say, do to your friend as you want to do. Don't do to your friend that you don't want done to you is the ikir that you have. And that way you get people to like you and stuff like that. So we saw that you're passing up what's right and wrong. So therefore, Midah Keneged Midah, the chiluk is the type of justice. If you don't like it done, don't do it. And if you do it, then you don't understand. The kumtya patch. You got to get punished for it. Because why'd you do it? You hold it's no good. So therefore, you're the Paisik. That's the daddy. So now I know I have to look into the Bnei Shalom all the time to see what's good. So I was thinking, I don't know what the Christian Asels of Divus are. It's not ours. They have one more love. They don't have any S's. We have, if you count the ones, only 9 divisions. We say, Hashem, are one. We said by Hashem's it's one Parshas, one's an Esser, one's a love. What's the Esser? I'm your God. What does that mean? So I think, I'm not convinced yet, but I think, if the Shainim will say the biggest madrega is to try to Yedias Hashem. Why is that important? Do I really have to know how cheshbon is to go one way or the other? Keep Shabbos, do the mitzvahs, do what it says in the Torah. Don't lay back up. Don't have to sit and learn the Torah and try to understand that Shem and this and that. No, there's an Indian. Anochi Hashem. I'm your God. What's my relationship with you? I'm your God. I'm your God means you look to follow me. Find what I want from you. What it is that makes you a higher person. What makes you bigger. That's Atzi Adati. Him is that now you see there's a mylon, there's something. Look to emulate what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing. I don't know of any other ones. That one, it took me a long time to know. So I don't know any other ones yet. But there are things, I assume, you see the Derech Hashem, that you're able to have it. And I always say, when do you have Rachmanis, when you don't have Rachmanis. I think these are all Nageya. So it's Idiyas Hashem is really, that which is, Goyim don't have that. They have just, what don't you want me to do? Just tell me, I'll do it. Don't tell me what you want done. But I'm not interested in knowing why or becoming a better person because of it or whatever it is. Those are the things. Also, there's another thing. The end of the Seder, it says over there, L'sasin iti, elahei kesef, elahei zov, l'sasin locha. It's a pasuk after Maftir. It's the second pasuk after Maftir. What's it trying to tell me? I'm saying what it's telling you is there's two things there. L'sasin iti is a snachta. That means don't make any other gods with me. Don't make an hashkofadik. Don't make this. There's a good and there's a bad. This and thing there. That's the problem that the goyim can't understand. They can't understand. They're fighting evil. That Ra and Toiv are the same thing. They can't see. So by them it's two different things. So Yoshke is Toiv, and the Satan is Ra. So you have two different hashkofas in the world. We don't have two different hashkofas in the world. You only have one thing that's right and wrong. That's it. Over there. It's not done by different people. And if the Benishim uses right for wrong or wrong for right, then that's right. And we can't understand it sometimes. Okay, so therefore, let's listen. Then there's a second Aveira. Don't make any God on the idols. It's a different story. But one is even hashkofa without idols. Just the fact that there are two, that automatically makes it safe. Okay, that's one thing. And then you have the one of Loisala B'Malos HaMizbechi, which is a thing which is I never understood as a kid. So this is from the younger years. When you go, if you're dressed, right, there's no elbow. If I'm undressed, you walk with me with a ramp, you're going to see. But I mean, I guess because you take smaller steps, so you don't really see your feet, don't separate your feet. Or if I don't have a bathing suit on or underwear, or pants, so you're going to see my elbows. What's wrong with that? It's natural. But the thing doesn't even have a person, a woman, does not need a belt. When she makes pchume, she shaves up challah, sitting naked on the floor, making challah, and she shades up challah and she makes a bracha there. Why? Because her elva is into the ground. So it's automatically covered. My man, it's not. Okay. So the guy says, but it's covered. Why is Loisal I'm wearing pants. Let's say something like a cup. I mean, every kohen wore pants. I mean, he's the only one who goes on his bath. He wore a bathing suit. So he didn't wear pants, but he wore shorts, whatever he wore there. But he wore pants. Right? The shot is like this. We had a girl here in the yeshiva. Guys don't remember them. but he became a good friend with Menachem Goldman, so I remember them. I was with Gdushin that time. His name was Yisro. Some guys should remember him yet. They named Yisro. They convinced me to invite him for Yom Ne'Yarayim, to Yeshiva, one of the parents. I said to him, what am I doing to Ger? He said, he's going to look in the Yeshiva. He goes, one shul you finished davening 2 o'clock, you finished the by us we go to 4 o'clock. Yom Kippur is no break. In those years we didn't have a break at all because Chaim didn't know how to go fast yet. Okay, so whatever it is so we didn't have a break. How is he going to sit through it? Please, okay? You can't argue with please. So I pick him up by the yeshiva. I'm taking him to Staten Island. I'm taking him in swim a bomber jacket, a beard. Did he have long hair in the back? I don't think so. I don't remember, but I don't think so. But he may have had. Did he have any jewelry on him? I also don't think so. Okay, but I've already picked up gerim that wear long payas with long hair all the way to the back with a ponytail. And a thing there, jewelry on their fingers, right? Bomber jacket and thing there. That's what Solomon is for Mizbechi. You have to go madrega-wise. You can't be, why are you wearing payas? Oh, it has this hashkofa, this. Oh, I want to wear them. You're not up to there. You're up to the basics. You get up there, you mix yourself up. You're going to wear payas and you're going to wear long hair because it's a contradiction to you. The Solomon Mizbechi said, don't walk with steps. You go too high, too fast. Go with a ramp. Slow. That way you look like a mensch. You don't have any elbow. You don't show what's wrong with you. You don't tell me you're a screw. Okay, that's what I meant. I think that's a more pushing tight than the actual elbow. What's wrong with the elbow anyway? So I can't answer you that. So, but obviously I didn't in the elbow. But so what's the halacha? So a person should go slow. But in the lavin you can't go slow. You're not allowed to steal. You're not allowed to go Chal Shabbos. The essence you can go a little slower. Good Shabbos, everybody. That means they're splitting it.
That also.
That should look for something.
Yeah.
That's from the good books we're looking now.
Right.
You all have location. Right, so he was saying it's a good thing
Better than nothing.
Right, but
Okay.
what I'm thinking, if I drug is also.